I think anyone who's had bad experiences in the past with faulty equipment or the water coming down a snorkel and you choking, inhaling a bunch of salt water, you're not going to have that problem with this, which so is why I recommend it. Negative. Just not really negative. Just you can't, if you want to dive, you can't use this to dive. You can't use it really to free dive either. You can't decompress. If you're going down, I don't know, say task 6, you get to 8 feet. I usually like to decompress by blowing, pinching your nose and blowing just a little bit to decompress the pressure in your ears. That way you can continue diving. Can't do that because of this hard mask here. The other thing is when we were utilizing these, we were pretty close to a couple of shipwrecks, and they were only maybe about 10, 15 feet down. Uh, and to dive down to the top or even inside the ship was probably about 10 feet. And I was free diving into the boat, and it was the mask is pretty much like having a big buoy on your face, and it constantly wants to just pull you out of the water, or rise to the top. So that was pretty much a negative. And at one point, I saw a guy dive into the boat, which I'll probably roll in some footage and some pictures. I saw this guy dive into the boat, and I didn't see him come out, so I wanted to dive in after him, and I couldn't really get deep enough. So I pulled off the mask, and I went to a stranger that was right next to me who was snorkeling as well, and I asked him to borrow his mask for a second. I threw it on, I dove into the boat, and I looked around. I didn't see the guy, so I'm hoping he got out a different exit or a different hole in the boat. But that was probably the only two negatives, was that you can't decompress, and it's kind of very buoyant. So as you go deeper down, it kind of just wants to pull you back up. And you won't be, obviously, the other thing I guess is saying, like, when you scuba dive and you have a mask on, the further you go down, obviously the further the pressure is going to be on your face, and you can't decompress these either. When you scuba dive and you get a lot of pressure on your face, and you want to, decompress it from your face, you pull it off. But naturally you get water in there, and normally you would just tilt the goggles and blow out your nose, and it would clear them out. You're not going to be able to do that with this. It's strictly just for snorkeling, pretty much staying up at the top, maybe a couple foot, free dive, and that's it. For most people, I think they will rather enjoy that, and that's all they're going to use it for. And it comes with, like I said, it comes with this nice carrying case. You put in 2 pieces, rinse it off, you throw it in your little bag here, throw it in your suitcase, and you go. So that's pretty much it. I think I touched on everything.